With Mother's Day approaching, many families are preparing for the big day, and it's a good opportunity to dive deeper into some of the gifts and challenges of stewarding a child's life. Joining us now is Dr. Jeffrey B. Rubin, a psychoanalyst, psychologist, and author who integrates Western psychotherapy with Eastern meditative traditions. We're so glad to welcome you today, Dr. Rubin.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, let's begin with why so many mothers today may be feeling overwhelmed. They may not necessarily be doing more than women in the past, and yet there's so much burden that can come with it, often silently carried.
The resources that help women, women's groups, social media, also create a burden, a kind of unconscious burden, because women then feel like there's a one way to do it. They may not know it. They get conflicting advice, and it becomes very confusing and very burdensome.
And what can women do about that in an age when social media is so infused with everything we do?
I think they have to be open to as much information as they can, receptive to things that they don't know, but they also have to keep practicing trusting themselves, keep practicing going back to what works with their children, which may be different if they have several children.
Indeed. And what kind of practices do you recommend to reinforce that sense of trusting yourself and putting that in action when often onlookers may have different opinions, and obviously you're working in a team, often with your husband, who, your family as a whole. There may be lots of opinions going around.
Exactly. Just stopping, Stephanie, just stopping for a minute several times a day, checking in with one's body, seeing what feels right to the person. Just some yogic breathing, kind of calm, relaxed breathing, closing your mouth, breathing through the nostrils, longer exhales, just doing 12 breaths like that periodically throughout the day. That can help. Connecting in with trusted friends and advisors can also help. The solace that can bring can be very useful.
And in this era of social media and this hype around the perfect motherhood that women may be pulled into looking at on social media, mom guilt is quite common. What's behind that psychologically, and how can mothers manage it more effectively?
Well, I think as we said before, Stephanie, with all that information out there, many women feel there's one right way to do it, and they don't know it because they get conflicting advice. A child cries, soothe them. A child cries, let them cry it out. Sleeping arrangements, eating, gluten, it all becomes very, very overwhelming. And so they have to, again, sift through the information as best as they can, but then keep their own counsel.
And I love this aspect. You talk about how adult children can improve their relationships with their mother. And as Mother's Day approaches, I think that's such an apt question to ask. There's always something we can do to make it better, no matter how good it already is. So what's your take there?
One thing we do is to remember what aligns you, to remember what connects you, and to try to cultivate that. And then the second is, if there's things standing in the way, what do we need to do to resolve this? All we have is time, diminishing time. What do we need to do to make this less of a factor and for us to be more connected? We love each other, and how can we make this better?
Beautiful. Starting with the intentions there is the basis. What are some of the more common underlying issues that people can work through when it comes to their relationships with their mom?
You favored my sister, you favored my brother, you love them more, I wasn't good enough. And often there's a sort of faint hint of truth. The mother might have been critical to try to help the child achieve more, but then the child interprets it in their own particular way, which may or may not be what the mother intended. So sometimes just having frank discussions when mother and child or adult child are alone, and then asking, what were you hoping to achieve here? What do you want? Where do we share important values? How am I like you? To look for the overlaps, and then to see if they can work through the potential conflicts.
And of course, mothering is a lot about serving the needs of others. And Just looking now at what mothers really do need, but they're rarely asking for, and how a mother's partner and the family as a whole can support her in that.
Well, I was thinking of that in relation to what's the best gift we can give mothers this Mother's Day on Sunday. And I think it's real appreciation for all that they've done, real sense of gratitude for the conscious devotion and the subtle little things that they did that they never talk about that were crucial in the husband and the child's welfare.
Beautiful to hear your insights today, Dr. Jeffrey B. Rubin. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, and have a happy Mother's Day.
And same to you.